Welcome to the Salty Driftwood Podcast. I'm your host, Edie Gibson, and today's episode is titled Protect Your Thought. Protect your thought. Protect your thought. Protect your thought. What do I mean by protect your thought? I'm going to ask you a question. When last have you had a chance to think or have a thought without you being in a sense of worry or heightened state of concern? What is thought? A thought can be described as an idea or an opinion produced by thinking. Everything that is man-made, good and bad, came about by a thought. The car that you drive, the fuel that is in the car that you drive, the building that you live in, everything that is man-made came about through a thought. Someone had an idea, expressed it whether verbally or written it down, and the thought became a reality. It produced a concept, a product, or in some cases, even an ideology. Thought is so important that democracies all over the world see thought as a basic human right and a freedom that is protected in legal framework. Constitutions, Bill of Rights, all those other things. Thought brought about through the thinking process is not just a right, but is perhaps the greatest attribute we as humans have. I think, therefore I am. I think we have a misconception that instruments such as constitutions somehow give us this freedom to think, when in fact no one can give you what you were inherently born with. I'm sort of a spiritual man. In other words, no one can give you what the divine has already gifted you with. Now, there may be persons or entities that try to limit one from expressing a thought and manifesting it, but you can never stop someone from having thought. Whether they are positive or negative thoughts, brilliant or just plain stupid thoughts, sane or insane thoughts, as long as you are a living, breathing human being, you will have them. No one can stop you from having them. Sometimes you yourself cannot stop you from having them. Sometimes you have these crazy thoughts, myself included, and you wonder to yourself, hey, how did I get these thoughts? Not even you can control your thought. Sometimes. You may be able to imprison the body, but you can never cage the mind. Now, what can be done to your thought production is that it can be retrained and manipulated, whether through straight up torture or a more subtle way of brainwashing. Nowadays, there is a real brainwashing, in my opinion, that is done through the manipulation of mass media. The birth of mass media began with the invention of the Gutenberg press. Before then, information was distributed through books, which were rare and expensive. Therefore, they were hoarded and coveted. They were painstakingly written and copied, but the invention of the Gutenberg press changed all that. Then, as technology evolved, so did mass media production. From pamphlet to newspapers to telegraphs to radio, movie reels, TV, and now to the internet. Mass media was intended as a medium to inform us, to educate us, and to entertain us. Boy, things have changed. Things have really changed over the years. In 1960, a media theorist, Marshall McLuhan, coined the phrase, "The medium is the message." My interpretation of that is, whom or what controls the medium controls the message. Remember that old detective cliche saying, just the facts, ma'am? In real life nowadays, that's it, cliche. When it comes to information dissemination, mass media has morphed into something quite sinister. The owners of these forms of media are able to spread or propagate their political and social views to an unassuming, willing audience. Also, advertising dollars is the fuel for mass media. The pressure for getting advertising dollars further complicates the situation. The lines between information dissemination and entertainment have become blurred. There is an entire concerted effort to manipulate your thought process and alter your behavior. Controlling your behavior is a form of currency, especially on those social media apps. If you all know, data is like the chief currency, which they make and profit off. Your data, your information that they sell to third-party companies for advertising purposes. Advertising dollars individuals, groups of individuals with personal agendas control mass media. That is the who and the what that controls the message. Today, there's a free-fall grab for manipulating and directing your thought process. That is why it is even so more important nowadays with the fast-paced advancement of technology to protect your thought. These are some of the ways I suggest to protect your thought. Bear in mind that there's a hunt for your thought and your dollars every day. There's a story, not really a story, but a saying that one of my co-workers used to tell me. While you're sleeping, they thinking of ways to get that money out your pocket. That's true. And I always think about that. But these are some of the ways I suggest that you could, protect your thought. Try to limit yourself engaging in mass media. Spend some more silent time to develop your own thoughts and ideas. Also, be open-minded and listen to all sides. Most importantly, question things. I had the stage in my life where some things I thought I know, I didn't know. So I began to question most things in my life, seeking answer, seeking knowledge. As you get older, you tend to do that for most people. Like I say, be open-minded and try to listen to all sides and question things. Sift through the information. Verify sources in the backgrounds if you can. One thing that is funny to me is when I hear the quote, experts say. I always ask myself, who are these so-called experts? Why are they qualified to give me such information, and why should I listen to them? It's like nowadays every article or report is somehow an opinion piece. Everyone just trying to manipulate you and thinking the way they want you to think. To me, it's obvious, but to some people it may not be. But to me, it's obvious. And one of the most important thing I think, especially on social media, because social media has made it easier, is that you don't have to develop an opinion on every single thing. Nowadays, with me, I am particularly selfish, which things enter my thought factory. I'm getting a little older now, the brain cells diminishing from some of those bad habits I had back in the day, but I got to preserve them now. So I limit what I allow into my thought factory. I only allow in what I believe that is important to me and mine, or to my daily existence. For instance, if I'm on a social app news feed and I see too much of the same topics over and over, I know the algorithm or AI is taking over. No matter the subject, I just scroll by. And I hardly watch the news or subscribe to online news sources, because what they do is basically just report the same thing over and over and over, like they're hammering it into your head. And for the most part, the coverage becomes more and more frightening. These coverages seem to always be presented in ways to keep you in a constant state of fear and anxiety. A scared and anxious individual can be a controlled individual, but that's a topic for another day. I've established what is important to me. If something isn't, either I tune out, scroll by, or just simply log off. That is the way I protect my thought and exercise my freedom. And it seems nowadays, of all what is going on, exercising your freedom is quickly becoming a thing of the past. These temporary measures may become permanent. That's a danger we need to seriously watch out for and guard against. But I'll end with this. Don't let them get it. Protect your thought. As long as you're breathing, your thought and thinking process belongs exclusively to you. Well, be good, be real, and have a good one.